Wow, what bad, terrible ass show tonight. I'm the Godfather Soldier from Slimming, and name my topic tonight is called name my topic tonight is called Embarrassed and Excruciating in Evansville, Indiana. That's my topic tonight. What will be excruciating and embarrassed and excruciating in Evansville, Indiana? I live few miles from here. But before I do, I'm open to show a little bit of music. I'm open to show this number one R&B single from 1985 called "Caravan of Love" by Isley Jasper Isley. Stick around, right back. Here it is, "Caravan of Love" by Isley Jasper Isley, 1985. Sorry,
Hmm?
sorry,
For what?
my foot.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. It's my fault. I didn't see it. I hit it. All right.
Hear that?
What you listen to?
It's "Caravan of Love."
Oh. I think this is light.
Yep, Isla, Jasper Isla, all we just heard. Caravan Love, R&B single from 1985. So let's get down tonight with this terrible show tonight on Monday Night Raw. Okay. Then Now Forever Together opens a new opening. WWE Raw kicks off with highlights of WrestlePalooza. We see the Vision walking in the parking lot. We cut to Stephanie Vicaire with her father entering the arena. The camera cuts to the New Day and Grayson Waller outside the arena with kendo sticks. We see Bayley laughing and entering the arena. We cut to LA Knight entering the arena with Rusev yelling at Dum Dum behind them. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Live in the arena, Cody's music hits, and out he comes to the ring. He gets in the ring, and the fans chant Cody. He asks the fans what they want to talk about. He shows the crown jewel ring, and says they can talk about that he is the undisputed champion against the world heavyweight. And wow, he rudely interrupted. And we hear burn it down, and out comes Seth piece of shit Rollins with a vision. Seth tells him to back away as he gets in the ring. He and Cody are face to face in the ring. The fans chant Cody, and Seth tells him from this moment that they both walked out of SummerSlam as champions. He had Crown Jewel circled on his calendar. They both had some hoops to jump, but here they are. Champion versus champion, Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes. Two of the very best in the world. In their prime, one-on-one, may the best man win. And it should be that simple, but not. It's because it's not because it's them. It's them. It is deeper than that, and bigger than that. He says he is pretty good at reading people. He knows everyone in the arena thinks about him. He knows what the locker room thinks about him. What the internet thinks about him. What those watching on Netflix think about him. He doesn't give a damn. He says the fans don't know what is good for them, and they don't have the right to make decisions. Allow CM Punk chant from the fans. He says that fortunately it's not about Punk because he does not have a championship. He knows what that moron thinks of him. What he knows to know what he needs to know what Cody thinks of him. Cody tells Seth it's complicated and it shouldn't be. Seth made some questionable choices. One of them is standing in the outside of the ring and he greets Paul Heyman. Piece of shit. Cody tells Seth that Seth changed his life. He came back at WrestleMania, but Seth had the courage to stand in the ring in front of an opponent he didn't know. He changed his life in Hell in a Cell. He changed his career at WrestleMania 40 when he was his Shield. He changed his life when he helped bring the title to his family. It shouldn't be complicated. He just had Becky on his podcast. He knows it's one-on-one for him to run him down. But he says that better question is what does Seth think of Seth? He says Seth Rollins could be the absolute best, but that Seth is not hiding behind the three goons. He asks Seth, what can you do for him right now? Seth tells him before they talk about in the ring, they need to talk about the watch that he is wearing. He says the watch he is wearing is the watch Cody gave him at WrestleMania 40. He hasn't worn it a single time until tonight. He knows to Cody if the watch was a real gift or was a token of gesture because Cody is fantastic at saying all right things about him. Going praise and heats on him when he suits Cody. Cody is in his next breath. Cody undermines him every single thing that Seth stands for. Cody will say straight face that he is the right person to lead this industry in the future. Cody says that he is in a quarterback, but if he really believes that, what does that say about Seth? He tells Cody that either Cody does not think he is good enough or Cody does not think he is good as him. He says that the Vision are not goons. Of course, I think they are. They are not just a group of people. They are an idea of what the future of the industry looks like, and it runs through him. He is the tip of that spear, not Cody. He says Cody can be the quarterback, but he will be his quarterback. He tells Cody if he does not agree with that, it doesn't matter, because in 3 weeks at Crown Jewel, the truth will come out by any means necessary. Cody will find out that he is the creator. He is the prime mover. This is not a two-man show. Seth is the alpha. You're right. Cody says that Seth is the alpha and a lot of questions. He has 2 questions for Seth. In the 3 matches they have had, they have all been on one-on-one. He asks him if at Crown Jewel that will be the case, and if they're in 3 matches that they have had, how many of Seth has Seth won? Cody slams the microphone on Seth's chest and leaves the ring. The fans chant Cody and stares at Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Seth waves at them to move aside. Cody walks away as his music hits. We cut to Jimmy and Jay. Jay Uso. Jimmy tells Jay what happened at WrestlePalooza was trash. He knows that they can beat them. He went to go to talk to Adam Pearce to get a rematch, but Pearce told him that Jay made his own match, him against LA Knight. Jimmy tells Jay that Jay is busted up and hurt. Jay tells him that he thinks that they would have won at WrestlePalooza if LA Knight was not the referee. And he thinks the Vision would have taken care of LA Knight last week if Jimmy not tagged with him last week. Jimmy asks Jay if he is blaming him and tells him no. He is telling Jimmy that they have a lot to handle, and they will after he bodies LA Knight. Jay walks away. We cut to the New Day and Grayson Waller coming down to the ring. And go to commercial break. No disqualification match, Penta and the Royal Raiders versus the New Day and Grayson Waller. All 6 men began fighting and the bell rings and we're underway. The New Day and Grayson Waller are thrown to the outside of the ring. They grab Penta and Eric to the outside, but Ivar drags Woods into the ring. Woods with a rake to the eyes, but Ivar with a sit down. In comes Kofi, who lands a spinning kick. Eric comes in and hits Kofi with a knee to the face. Waller gets in the ring and he hits Eric with a kendo stick. Penta grabs the kendo stick from him and hits Waller with it. He goes to hit him again, but Waller with a super kick. Waller to the outside and Eric with a right hand. Woods and Kofi double team Eric and throw him into the ring. Ivar with a double shoulder tackle takes New Day out. Penta's in the ring and he jumps over Eric and onto the New Day. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Penta throws Waller to the outside of the ring. He hits Woods with the right hand and a Hurricanrana onto Kofi. Penta gets on the ring apron, but Woods trips him up. Woods places Penta on the table on top of a table that is at ringside. Kofi climbs to the top rope and he lands on a leg drop onto Penta through the table. The Royal Raiders double team Waller in the ring. The New Day kicks onto the Royal Raiders. Ivar is on the top rope as the New Day get on a second rope. Ivar with a headbutt onto Waller. The New Day go for a double suplex, but Eric with a double powerbomb. Waller clotheslines Ivar and both men fall to the outside of the ring. Ivar goes for a moonsault, but the New Day move out of the way. The New Day double team Ivar, and Ivar is in the ring apron. Waller runs towards him, and Ivar powerbombs him on the ring apron. Woods hits Ivar with a kendo stick. Eric gets on the ring apron, but Eric slams him onto the ring apron. Kofi jumps off the ring apron, steps, and lands a splash on him. Woods gets in the ring and he runs towards Penta, but Penta throws him through the table that is set up in one of the corners. Penta climbs to the top rope, but Waller hits him with a kendo stick. Waller on the second rope, but Penta with right hands. Penta with a Mexican driver. Penta goes for a cover and gets the pin. Winners Penta and the War Raiders. We cut back to see the Judgment Day. Dum tells Finn that the whole thing with Rusev has gotten out of hand. He is going after his Intercontinental title. Finn asks him why he hasn't asked his new friend, El Grande Americano. Dominic tells him that he is back in Mexico. He asks Finn what is he doing tonight. And Finn tells him he is busy. Dominic asks JD what he is doing tonight. JD says he's busy. Roxanne tells JD that they are Judgment Day and he needs to help him. JD says he will help him, but he won't help Dominic. He won't help, but he won't help Dum for him. He will help him for the Judgment Day. JD tells him that he will go speak with Adam Pearce, but Dum tells him that he doesn't have to. He spoke to Adam, and Adam made JD against Rusev. We cut to Lyra, Valkyria, and Bayley in the back. Lyra apologizes for last week, but Bayley tells her it was so good to see her again, and she asks Lyra if she would like to be in her corner tonight. Lyra asks her if she is joking because Bayley yelled at her last week. Bayley asks Lyra if she was joking. Lyra tells Bayley if it really means a lot to Bayley, and if it gets to her to be the best new version of himself, she will be there. Bayley tells her no, and takes backs, and they shake hands. Then we go to commercial break. Adam Pearce is in the ring. He introduces the new Raw Women's World Champion, Stephanie Vicaire, to the ring. Yes, she deserved it. She comes out and speaks in Spanish and English. Stephanie says she has her hero, and that is her dad. We see her at ringside. She says with pride, she can say she is the first Latin American world champion. This title represents years of sacrifice. She says this represents the motivation and support that everyone has given her. And all of them that celebrate with her at WrestlePalooza, and she thanks them. She says she'll keep making history, and nobody can stop her because she is the first WWE Women's Champion. Adam says Tiffany will defend her title in a triple threat match on SmackDown. And at Crown Jewel, Stephanie will face the winner of the match for the Crown Jewel Women's Championship. Stephanie says she'll be there as she raises her title in the air with pyro going off. We see clips of Brock Lesnar defeating John Cena at WrestlePalooza, which is stupid because WWE really fucked up his retirement tour. Stephanie is backstage and he's stopped by Nikki Bella and Rhea Ripley. They congratulate her. In come the Kabuki Warriors. And Asuka tells Stephanie that Io should be champion. Stephanie tells Asuka that she will show her why she is champion. Rhea tells Asuka that out of respect for Io, she tried to stay out of her way, but she is sick and tired of her attitude. Asuka tells her that she will show her why she is not ready for Asuka. Rhea says she is ready for Asuka, and she challenges her to a match tonight. Asuka accepts and walks away. Then we go to commercial break. Bayley with Lyra Valkyrie versus Roxanne Perez with Raquel Rodriguez. The bell rings are underway. Bayley with a headlock takedown. Roxanne gets back up, and Bayley goes for the belly to belly. But Roxanne rolls out of the way. Roxanne to the ropes, but Bayley trips her up. Bayley with a running elbow to the back of the head. She goes for the cover, but Perez kicks out. Perez rolls to the outside of the ring, and Bayley with a right hand. Perez slams her into the barricade. Perez throws Bayley back into the building. She grabs Bayley, but Bayley with a back suplex. She runs towards Perez, but Perez with a boot to the face. Perez on the second rope, but Bayley on the second rope. Perez rolls under her. Curl distracts Bayley, and Perez trips Bayley up. Perez stands on Bayley's left knee and go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Bailey climbs to the second rope and she lands on an elbow drop. She goes for the cover, but Perez kicks out. Bailey climbs to the top rope, but Perez trips her up. Perez climbs to the top rope and lands on a hurricanrana. She goes for the cover, but Bailey kicks out. Perez goes for a pop rocks, but Bailey gets out of it. Bailey goes for a knee, but Perez moves out of the way. Perez rolls her up, but Bailey kicks out. Bailey with a right hand, Bailey on a second rope, but Perez jumps up and lands on a Russian leg sweep. Bailey rolls to the outside of the ring. Perez goes for a suicide dive, but Bailey with a right hand. Perez on the outside, and Bailey grabs her, but Perez with pop rocks on the outside. Perez gets back in the ring. Bailey makes it to the ring. Perez distracts the referee, and Raquel pulls Bailey to the outside. Raquel with a big boot. Lyra on the outside, and she pushes Raquel into the ring post. Perez with a suicide dive onto Lyra. On the outside, Perez with right hands. Bailey grabs her head, and she grabs Perez. She throws Perez into the ring. Bailey with the belly to belly followed by a knee. Bailey with a rose plant. She goes for cover, gets the pin, winner Bailey. Lyra gets in the ring after the match and she begins to clap. She hugs Bailey, but Bailey pushes her down. She yells at Lyra, telling if she thinks she can touch her. Bailey tells her to stay out of it, and she walks away. And what is up with this bit? This psycho, this wacko bitch. What's up with Bailey? I mean, she's a nut job. I mean, what is her problem? Bailey, you need help. You psycho whore. You really need help. We cut to Cody Rhodes, who's walking, and she shakes hands with Jimmy. She congratulates Cody on his win. Cody asks him how she is doing, and Jimmy says he is good. Cody asks Jimmy how Jay is, and Jimmy says Jay is in his head. He's not listening to him, but maybe he will listen to Cody. Jimmy tells Jay that he will talk to Jay, and Cody walks away. Commercial break. Back from commercial, Cody walks into Jay's locker room. Cody tells Jay that he spoke to Jimmy. Jimmy seems a bit worried about him. Jay tells him he is good. Cody tells Jay that if he wasn't good, he has been there. It's highs and lows, wins and losses. And when that happens, sometimes people will lash out, and he has been there before. He tells Jay he has his fans, family, and friends. If they believe in him, Jay thanks him and tells him that he will find his way back to the top. Cody walks away, and we cut to the ring. You ever see JD McDonough with Dirty Dum Dum versus Rusev? Heel versus heel. The bell rings are underway. Rusev with a kick and right hands. The referee breaks it up, and JD with chops to the chest, but Rusev with a right hand. Rusev with a suplex, and he tells Dum Dum that he is going for him. Rusev with a suplex. Rusev with an elbow followed by a drop kick. Rusev goes for a suplex, but JD lands on his feet. JD with a chop to the chest. And JD runs to the outside of the ring. Rusev chases him back into the ring. JD to the ropes, and Rusev with a back body drop. Rusev throws JD to the outside of the ring, and Rusev to the outside of the ring. Rusev throws JD into the barricade. He goes to throw JD into the ring steps, but JD jumps over the steel steps and he pushes him down onto Rusev. JD on the ring apron. He goes for the kick, but Rusev grabs him and puts him on his shoulder. JD lands on his feet and he pushes Rusev into the ring post. JD is on the ring apron and he lands on a springboard moonsault. Then we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, JD with a jawbreaker. JD is on the ring apron and he lands on a corkscrew splash over the top onto Rusev. JD with a running knee to the face. He goes for the cover, but Rusev kicks out. JD with right hands followed by a DDT. JD with a headbutt. He climbs to the top rope and he lands on a moonsault. He goes for the cover, but Rusev kicks out. JD with a forearm to the face. He runs to the ropes and lands on a clothesline. JD to the ropes, but Rusev catches him and slams him onto the mat. Rusev with a Masha kick, followed by the accolade. Dum Dum gets on the ring apron behind Rusev and JD taps out. Winner is Rusev. JD is in the accolade. Out comes Finn Balor, who hits Rusev with right hands. Dum Dum grabs JD to the outside of the ring. Finn tells Dum Dum what he is doing. He was supposed to help. Dum Dum says he did help. We cut to the back, and Io tells Asuka that she does not have to do this. Asuka says she has to teach Rhea respect. She does not want advice from someone who lost, and Asuka walks away. Kairi tells her that they must listen to Asuka. Jackie Redman is backstage with LA Knight. He calls Jackie wordy. He says Jay comes in all hot and asks if Jay should be worried about him or his health. He says he tried to make sure that Jay was good, but Jay pushed him out of the way. He ate a spear through the table. He tells Jay he does not want to hurt him, but if he makes him, he will. LA Knight says Jay will hurt himself on the weekend because he hit him with a BFT for his troubles. But everyone's saying LA Knight, yeah. Then we go to commercial break. LA Knight versus Jay Uso versus LA Knight. As LA Knight is in the ring for his entrance, Jay hits him with a right hand, followed by a spinning elbow to the face. Right hands by Jay, and he goes for a splash in the corner, but LA Knight moves out of the way. He throws Jay to the outside of the ring. LA Knight goes for a baseball slide, but Jay moves out of the way and hits LA Knight with a clothesline. Commercial break. Back from commercial, LA Knight leaps to the top rope and he lands on a suplex. Both men to their feet, and LA Knight with right hands, but Jay with right hands. Jay goes for a super kick. LA Knight ducks and he lands a burning hammer. He goes for cover, but Jay kicks out. LA Knight goes for a big boot, but Jay rolls him out, and LA Knight kicks. LA Knight kicks out. LA Knight goes for a neck breaker, but Jay hands on the top rope. LA Knight to the outside, and Jay with a suicide dive. Jay throws LA Knight back into the ring. Jay with a super kick, and he goes for the cover, but LA Knight kicks out. Jay goes for a spear, but LA Knight with a kick, and he lands on a DET. LA Knight gets on a second rope, and he leaps up to the top rope. He lands on an elbow drop. Braun Breaker gets on the ring apron, and LA Knight hits him with a right hand. Bronson Reed gets on the ring apron, but LA Knight hits him with the right hand. LA Knight turns around and hits Jay with a spear. Jay climbs to the top rope, and he lands on an Uso splash. He goes for a cover and gets the pin. Winner, Jay Uso. He leaves the ring and begins walking, but out comes Jimmy. Braun and Bronson are on the ring apron. Jimmy tells Jay to help LA Knight. Jimmy runs down to the ring with a steel chair, and Jay stays back. Heyman tells Braun and Bronson no, and they head to the back. We cut to the back, and Seth is looking at his wife. Yeah, they got their ass kicked last Saturday. I loved it. Becky Lynch, the man whore, tells Seth that the Usos are disrespecting them. Becky goes on to talk about herself. Wham, wham, wham. And she says the fans are trying to steal everything they have built. Who do they think they are? She says CM Punk, AJ Lee, and Cody Rhodes have not done what they have done. She is going to make an example. She grabs her women's Intercontinental belt and leaves. Seth continues to look on his watch. Well, they can cry me a river. Seth and Becky. The camera cuts to Rhea Ripley, who is stretching out for a match. In comes Io, and she tells Rhea that she needs her to call off the match. Rhea says the match has to happen. Maybe her and Asuka can beat the respect into each other the same way they did. Io tells Rhea that Asuka is his family, and she can trust Asuka. Io asks Asuka if she can trust her, and she walks away. Then we go to commercial break. Maxine Dupree is backstage with Anna Pierce. He tells her that this women's division is very competitive, but for her to keep doing what she is doing, he will find her an opponent. She thanks him and walks away. In come AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. AJ tells him that he doesn't like El Grande Americano. He asks Adam how many of them are there. They of them they are, and Dragon Lee tells him that they want a tag team match next week. Pierce makes the match for next week. AJ tells Adam to stop signing Americanos. AJ and Dragon Lee walk away. With Asuka, here we go to match. Asuka with Kairi Sane versus Rhea Ripley. The bell rings, run away. Asuka with kicks, and she rolls Rhea up, but Rhea kicks out, and Asuka goes for a clothesline. Yeah, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. The bell rings, run away. Asuka with kicks, and she rolls Rhea up, but Rhea kicks out. Asuka goes for a clothesline, but Rhea ducks and lands a German suplex. Rhea goes for a big boot, but Asuka moves out of the way. Rhea on the ring apron, and Asuka with a running hip attack. Back from commercial, Rhea on the ring apron. Rhea goes for a kick, but Asuka with a dragon screw. Rhea go with a right hand followed by a clothesline. Rhea with a kick, and she slams Asuka face first onto the mat. Rhea with a drop kick followed by a suplex. She goes for cover, but Asuka kicks out. Rhea goes for a razor's edge, but Asuka lands on her feet, and she kicks Rhea's leg. Asuka with a drop kick, and she goes for a cover, but Rhea kicks out. Asuka with kicks, and she goes for a waist lock, but Rhea hangs onto the ropes. Rhea with a big boot, and Asuka fails to the outside of the ring. Rhea on the ring apron, she lands on a cannonball. Back from commercial, Rhea places Asuka on the top rope. Rhea on the top rope, and she lands on a suplex. Both women with right hands, and Rhea with a super kick. She grabs Asuka and lands on the razor's edge, followed by a running kick to the face. Rhea goes for a cover, but Asuka kicks out. Rhea goes for a riptide, but Asuka kicks and Asuka with an armbar. Rhea gets out of it, and she goes for a spear in the corner, but Asuka moves sort of away, and Rhea hits the ring post shoulder first. Asuka with a kick, and she goes for a cover, but Rhea kicks out. Asuka with kicks to the head, and she goes for another kick, but Rhea grabs her by the legs and hits her with her right hand. Asuka with a right hand and a kick. Rhea falls to the outside of the ring. Asuka distracts the referee, and Kairi thinks about hitting Rhea, but she doesn't hit her. Asuka to the outside, and she slams Rhea face first onto the announce table. Asuka throws Rhea onto the ring, and she lands on a running elbow. Asuka to the ropes, but Rhea with a forearm to the face. Rhea goes for the kick, but Asuka grabs her by the leg and gets a mortified leg lock. Asuka goes for the ankle lock, but Rhea gets to her feet. Asuka with a German suplex. Asuka climbs to the second rope, jumps, but no, one thing I've got to mention about Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I really hope that that AJ Lee goes for Precious Women's Intercontinental title, while CM Punk goes for the World Heavyweight title. Now let me finish up. Asuka go with a German suplex, with a German suplex. Asuka climbs to the second rope and jumps, but Rhea with a drop kick. Asuka yells at Kairi. She tells her to hit Rhea. Kairi gets on the ring apron, and she goes to hit Rhea, but Rhea catches her arm. Asuka goes for a hip attack onto Rhea, but Rhea moves out of the way and hits Asuka. Asuka hits Kairi. Rhea rolls Asuka up and gets the pin. Winner, Rhea Ripley. Asuka with a poison mist to the face of Rhea. Asuka tells Kairi to hit Rhea, and Kairi begins hitting her with right hands. EO's music hits. EO's music hits, and out she runs to the ring. She stops Asuka, and Asuka hugs EO. Yeah, I thought it was a little bit of a heel turn here, but Asuka turns around and she hits EO with a run with a spinning elbow. Asuka tells Kairi to hit EO and Kairi with right hands. Asuka with a kick to the face and Kairi on the top rope. She lands an insane elbow. Asuka celebrates as Raw goes off the air. Well, I knew this. I told you this game. I figured that it was gonna that there'll be a heel turn that Asuka. Yeah, I always thought wow. I thought that Asuka Io Sky was gonna turn heel on Rhea. That Asuka turned heel on Rhea in line with Asuka, but bam, Asuka and Kyrie double crossed Io Sky. It was a bad show tonight. Bad show tonight in Evans and right here. I mean, guess they're not friends anymore. L. The reason why Asuka and Kyrie did what they did because they felt betrayed. They're tired. They're tired of Io Sky being talking with Rhea Ripley. That's why they did what they did. Well, we're looking forward to a tag team match soon. Io and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, sometime in the future. We're gonna see why we're gonna explain their actions next Monday night on Raw. Hopefully. But that'll do for my review. Now it's time for something I like to do. All you know what it's time for. It's time for Justin's time history, all the wrestling birthdays, pop culture, and history, and all that stuff. All you hear that's a thing from Back to the Future starring Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd. One of my favorite movies celebrated its 40th anniversary on July 3rd, 2025. The movie was released July 3rd, 1985. Let's go to today's. Okay. Okay. On ABC's Monday Night Football on this day, September 22nd. ABC's Monday Night Football. The Oakland Raiders beat the Miami Dolphins 31-21. Wow, my Miami Dolphins. Let's see. Yeah, 40 years ago today, Willie Nelson, Neil Young, and John Cougar Mellencamp headlined the first ever Farm Rain Cancer concert in Champaign, Illinois. And on WWF All American Wrestling, hosted by Mean Gene Okerlund. Tiger Chun-Li pinned Jimmy Jackson from the house show in Poughkeepsie, New York. Date was August 20th, 1985. Adorable Adrian Jones defeated Lenny Poffo with a DDT at 6:55. And on this day, 1995, a TV sitcom called Dweeb, starring Corey Feldman. TV sitcom called Dweeb, starring Corey Feldman, late Peter Scolari, David Kaufman, Holly Fugger, and Stephen Tobolowsky was aired. And on this day, 1995, a couple of movies released in theaters. On this day, 1995. Canadian Bacon, the final film for John Candy, was released. Final movie starring John Candy. Also stars Alan Alda, Rhea Perlman from Cheers, Kevin J. O'Connor, Bill Nunn, the late Bill Nunn, Kevin Pollak, and Dan Aykroyd was also in that movie. Empire Records, the cult classic starring Anthony LaPaglia, Liv Tyler, Ethan Embry, Renee Zellweger, and Robin Tunney, and Maxwell Caulfield was released. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Next Generation starring Academy Award winners Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey was in that movie. A Month by the Lake starring Vanessa Redgrave, Edward Fox, and Uma Thurman was released. Run of the Century starring Albert Finney was released, late Albert Finney. Showgirl starring Saved by the Bells, Elizabeth Berkley was released. Supporting castings include Gina Gershon and Kyle MacLachlan from Twin Peaks, Robert Davi from The Goonies, really good actor, and Carrie Ann Abba from In Living Color was in that movie. And one of my favorite movies I have on DVD starring Seven, starring Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. Supporting cast in this movie includes Gwyneth Paltrow, late Arlie Ermey, late Richard Roundtree, and John C. McGinley from Wall Street and TV show sitcom. What's it called? TV sitcom called John C. McGinley, starring John C. McGinley, and from a TV show. What's that name of the TV sitcom? It was in Platoon. It was on a TV show. He was in Winter Rock. He was also in Office Space and Scrubs. That's it, Scrubs. And Kevin Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey, who plays the serial killer, who's responsible for the 7 deadly sins in that movie. And on this day in 2015, Team Bad defeated the Bella Twins, and Alicia Fox. Stardust defeated R-Truth. Sheamus defeated Jack Swagger. On September 22nd, 2015, the Total Divas aired season 4, episode 12, Until We Meet Again. The episode that featured Divas, the Divas trip to Mayon Ruins when they received devastating news that WWE Hall of Famer Dusty Rhodes is passing. Other storylines included Taz's ongoing marital issues with Tyson Kidd, Naomi's confrontation with Alicia Fox over a viral video, and Brie Bell revealing news about her father. And that's it. That'll do it. We got everything covered. And now I'm gonna close. As late Chad Henshaw, so you say like just what Cherry Checker saying like, "Don't you dance like James Brown?" Like again, that hot tub, gonna make me sweat, gonna make me dry, gonna make me wet. Referring to Eddie Murphy doing an impression of James Brown on Saturday Night Live. Um, I never grew up in the 80s. Back in the 80s, I never grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. But my mom told me everything about the 80s. I saw reruns of old school Saturday Night Live when I was little on Comedy Central. Now I'm gonna close out something for all of you tonight. Close out something for all of you. I'm gonna close out the song with this #1 hit single from 1980 from this song from this song this song called let's see. Hold on a second. It's called Thank You. It's called Thank You by Boys to Men. So here it is. So I hope I have a good night. And so hope I have a good night. I'm out of here. Peace.